Okay, so you guys know that meme that goes around? It says, reading chapter 1 of Berserk, and the guy's all happy, and then, he gets to the eclipse, and it's like, Berserk broke me. Yeah, Berserk's broken me too. See how big this book is? This is, let's go to the first couple of pages here. Real cool covers, as always. You could expect that from Kentaro Miura. Let's see. So this is roughly 435 pages. That's a lot of pages. You guys hear whenever I slam it down onto the table, right? Let's see. I can't tell you how many pages. It's like 500 pages. Let's say that this thing is 500 pages. You have to read each page in order to get to the end. Now you might be thinking, of course you have to read each page before you get to the end, dummy. That's how a book works. Now listen, I don't see you guys reading these books. I don't see you reading them. Because let me tell you something. After my last review, my goodness, was this a bore. It's filler and filler. Cool artwork, right? But last time I checked, I bought a story, not an art book. And you get some setups with Guts Berserk here, where Shierk is a witch, and they say burn the witch, and she gets her feelings hurt, and it's cool character moments. You know what it feels like? It feels like a slice of life in medieval times, and that's not what I'm here for. It's great that these character moments are there, and I appreciate them for what they are, little bits and pieces of character moments. Guts and Shierk are growing closer together. Guts is kind of watching over her like a big brother that she never had, and Isidro is growing as a character. They fight Captain Jack Sparrow here. Isidro gets into this stupid artificial beef with the mule from Griffith's new Band of the Hawk. Shierk and the Psychic get along pretty well. And we get a little bit of development with, what's her name? Princess Charlotte and Griffith. We get about this much development. It turns out that the Psychic really likes Griffith. She has like a crush on Griffith, which is cool, but what is he doing with it? So many of these things are set up. Yeah, they're getting all rowdy at a pub. Guts punches somebody in the face, and we get this really funny scene of a bar fight, and Guts is single-handedly destroying multiple men at a time, you know? Azan comes back for some reason. He was just on the boat, and now he's scrounging for scraps. Shierk is learning about normal society, and you get all these cute little anime illustrations of her with those funny little anime eyes, and she's growing as a character. There's character growth here, but you're talking about almost a third of the book, right, of character growth for her, and it's a third of the book, right, like I said, but nothing happened. I mean, did you need a third of the book to build to this one little scene of her in the pub thinking, oh, these people are kind of savages, but that's okay, I'm getting used to it? Did it take a third of the book for you to express that? Did it? Because I don't think it did. Did it take a third of the book to set up that there's going to be a big old fight, a big old battle happening in this town later on in the book? Which, by the way, it doesn't even get paid off in the next volume, technically. At the end, you get some Kushan invaders, but nothing gets paid off. She has a little heart. This was a nice moment. Little nice moments. These very self-contained nice moments within the pages. It's always very nice whenever Miura does these more personal moments. But for what? For what? To establish that she likes Griffith? We already knew that. She told this little story to Shierk earlier about a bunch of pigeons and a dove and a hawk, and one of them was the ugly duckling and this and that. Basically recapping the story for us as if we haven't already been reading, and for little to no nothing, right? Anyway, let's get past that part in the book. You guys can tell how much I'm enjoying this book. Berserk has broken me. So Shierk is teaching Farnese how to be a witch. Farnese says, oh, I have an idea. We can get started on our One Piece arc. Let me just go ask my dad for a boat. So she does, and her dad is like, I've disowned you, you suck, don't come back. Her brother hits her up and says, hey, Farnese, I'll give you that boat, but you have to do me a favor. And I thought, oh, no, it's not that bad. Get a nice little heart-to-heart moment with Guts and Serpico, as usual. Real nice illustration. Let me tell you, the illustrations that Miura pulled out for these much more royal scenes. You see all the flowers, the elegant dresses that she wears, and the way that all these characters look and act in these hyper detailed environments. I mean, look at these. Such again, he's a master artist. He's a master at what he does. The subtle expressions that convey so much emotion without any dialogue whatsoever, with these beautiful black backdrops that he puts on, contrasted by these unnecessarily stupid depictions of Puck and the other fairy. It doesn't need to happen. So Guts turns into Sherlock Holmes, figures out, oh hey, it seems like she's gonna get married to a noble. She asked her pops for a boat, and they're gonna give us the boat under the condition that she gets married to some dude. She meets her mother. Lots of big plot developments here. She has a heart-to-heart with her mother in the snow, and the snowy scenes, I'm a sucker for those, so I like this part here. They go off, they're going to a ball. This double-page spread right here, magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Look at how much detail are in these, all the way to the very end. At the very back of the room, the amount of heads, the amount of life, and even on the paintings on the rooftops, the ceiling, are done all the way until you really can't even illustrate inside of them anymore. I mean, Miura and his assistants really pulled it all out for this one, and basically Magnifico is going to try to usurp the throne some way, somehow, by announcing his sister's marriage, but of course the gang is like, no, we're not leaving without Farnese. So this entire arc, ever since they met, Serpico and Guts have been building towards a fight scene, and another magnificent panel, a couple of pages. And this is where we finally get it. I was so excited for this. Now, let me tell you something. This was an incredible fight scene. Serpico is cunning as usual. He has Guts fight him in this room of pillars, the forest of pillars. They say it in French. French isn't the real language, so it's a forest of pillars, call it that. And of course, Serpico is cunning. He's smart. He's swift. He knows that he can't go toe-to-toe with Guts in a normal situation. So he has all these cool plots and everything's happening lightning fast, and he says, I'm going to swipe at his hand. I just have to dodge it very last second. And you can really feel how close things really are with these very tight-angled panels where everything there is happening in this really small space, and it feels very claustrophobic to illustrate the timing and the pressure that these characters are under as he goes to swipe at Guts' free hand, but it turns out that Guts swapped hands last second, so he keeps on moving and moving and moving until Guts finally breaks the last pillar. All these bricks collapse, but then Guts, of course, brute forces his way through things and saves Serpico just before collapse. Isidro, the entire time, is seeing his very first sword fight. Really, like life and death kind of situation where it's man against man, as is Shierk. And it's these nice moments with the characters, but guess what? Guts wins, and it's a draw, and Guts says, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get to Farnese. And you really do tend to play it by ear. And then you hear the laugh track and everybody claps. Isidro asks, was that fighting for real? And he's almost scared by it. It's almost like Isidro doesn't want all the smoke. He's just some ignorant little kid that has all these fantasies of battle but doesn't really understand what he's getting himself into. Nice moments. But why did that need to happen? Why? In the middle of the battle, Serpico says, oh, well, he has the power of the armor and he'll go berserk and he'll kill Farnese, and I'm not going to let that happen. And that's a cool motivation. But the fact that he goes from, I want to kill Guts, to, Guts, oh, you, always being all Guts-like, that just, it feels very anticlimactic to me. I love the fight. The narrative point of it seemed almost like it was forced. Like Miura set it up, but as the characters grew together, there was less of a reason to fight, but since he had already set it up so much, he had to execute it. That's what it feels like to me. It almost feels like he got carried away and forgot, oh man, if they're gonna fight, they have to fight now, or else it really won't make any sense. So a Kushan tiger invades the party, kills a bunch of nobles, and we get some more cool heroics where Farnese, in her experience, is able to figure out, oh, this is how you dispatch of these creatures. So she jams this thing in the eye, and you get this real nice panel with a lot of movement, where her dress comes down and you see her expression all the while. It's this constant motion where you can absorb the entire scene and the entire action all in one page while also breaking it up with rhythm. It's great stuff. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. She's about to get attacked because obviously she can't fight in a dress, and swoop, Serpico comes in. It's this real nice shot. Lots of things happening. He says, "Oh, hey, sorry I'm late." And then Guts turns into Jotaro from JoJo. He says, "Looks like the party's in full swing." And this had me roll it. I didn't like this at all. Because when I read that, it's a cool thing, you know, making the characters a little more heroic. It makes sense for the story. It makes sense for them as characters. But when did Guts do one-liners? When? Tell me. Can somebody tell me that? I thought I was going crazy here. At what point in any part of the story of Berserk was Guts ever a one-liner kind of guy? He would say things like, "Let's get out of here," or "Hey, you're not going to let this doofus win one over on you, are you?" But he would never say stuff like this. It just felt so forced. And I thought, when did this happen to Guts? When did Guts become a one-liner character? I checked earlier in the book. He wasn't like that earlier. So it's this very sudden development that I like Jotaro. Jotaro's my favorite JoJo. Guts isn't Jotaro. That's why I have a problem with this. So Guts naturally dispatches all the tigers. You get a bunch more fights. Shirk makes these snakes and gives them to Farnese. And more fights until finally, they dispatch of everybody. The king gaslights his kingdom. And we get this cool guy, Roderick, who says, "Yeah, I'll give you my boat. That way we can go on our One Piece arc." And it's cool. Guts sees this guy, Zeus. Nothing really happens here. Guts says, "Oh, is this Griffith's doing?" And the city's about to go to battle, and a bunch of people are dying, and here are the war demons. And Farnese has to change clothes, so she does. We get Sir Owen, who's like, "Are you Guts Berserk?" And Guts says, "Oh, that guy, forget about it, whatever." And we get these two, the Wonder Twins, doing Wonder Twin things, and, some more cool fight scenes that don't really mean anything in the greater part of the story. Here comes another elephant thing. Guts gets slammed into a building, but hey, he's fine. He kills it. And then we get to the end. There's Guts for you. Did you guys enjoy it? I certainly didn't. I didn't even read the last few chapters all the way through because you don't have to. You already know what's going to happen. So that's my opinion on this book. I wasn't about to sit down and do a serious review. It would be too much, and I don't care that much about it. So I'm never gonna fake it for y'all, I'm gonna give y'all truth, and the truth is most of this story is whack and most of it is filler. For the amount of things that are accomplished in 500 pages, the old Miura would have gotten them done in 250 pages and made it twice as entertaining, without all the comedic relief in between, and still had a very balanced and well done story. I have no idea why there's so much filler in these later volumes. I don't know if it's because of them not knowing where to take the story and they want to illustrate these cool scenes, but the problem is Guts taking out all those tigers. There are absolutely no stakes in it. Sure, characters are learning, but they could have just as easily learned that on nights where they're fighting all the demons together, you see? And what makes the tiger fight so unentertaining is, one, Guts is going to beat him. He's beaten things twice as dangerous, twice as deadly. And two, there's no narrative reason for them to be fighting. They're just goons, basically. Unlike all the apostles that Guts fights, the nightly demons that he fights, all these other things that he fights, there's narrative purpose to them. There's growth. Whenever he fought Rosine, whenever he fought the Slug Count, the Snake Baron, all of those apostles all provided growth and movement and development in the story by offering their own set of challenges and their own opportunities to grow. Even fighting Slan and Grunbeld gave Guts the Berserker armor, and that armor is teaching Guts how to control his inner rage a little bit better and giving him an opportunity to stand toe-to-toe with some of the tougher apostles. So when he's fighting just these jobbers and it's taking up page after page after page, and you're getting character developmental moments that take up so much of the book for the little tiny developments, I mean, what's the deal? it's not that much fun to read. It's too spread out. It's too spread thin. I'm going to finish the series. I'm going to keep up with the series. But to be quite frank, I'm only doing that because I'm already this far in. I think it really peaked around volume 1 through 7. I love them. All of them equally. Like my kids. I don't have kids. 8 through 10. It's like an episode of Bipolar Mania. You're going to feel really good. You're going to feel really bad. You're going to wonder why you're reading it. But it's going to keep you, it's got that carrot on the stick because you might just see Griffith again or you might just see a new development with the main guys. So that's my review. It's already going past 15 minutes. I hope you guys liked it. Tell me what you guys think, if I'm crazy, if Berserk broke you too. Berserk's Anonymous, that's a hotline that you can call if that's the case. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter, follow all that. I'm posting out a short story.